everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Study Hall here on TCGU University for the card game UniVersus. My name's Tam, and I'm joined by
Travis
and Michael.
What Study Hall is for the unenrolled is we've taken a bunch of your guys' UFS topics as well as some of our own. They're UniVersus topics.
Yep.
Have I said UFS this whole time?
No, you said it just this time.
UniVersus topics, and we talk about them for your amusement, entertainment, and knowledge. So with that said, a little bit of housekeeping. Shout out to our sponsors, Card Custom Build. We'll talk about them a little bit more later. And shout outs to patreon.com/TCGU. That's right. I'm shouting out my own channel. We've done a bunch of content that's coming out all on September 1st. So if you have not subscribed out on Patreon, we've got so much content coming daily, and it's all going to be exclusive out there. We've got profiles and matches. I'm writing articles. We're doing more shows. We've got all of this really awesome content. We want to get giveaways. We're trying to do merchandise. We're trying to do all of this really rad stuff out on the Patreon. So if you like the content, you want to help keep the lights on, please go out there, subscribe one of the levels. Yep. Just like all of these great people did. Andrew Dang, Yari Melcord, Clay Cardwell, Jay Rogers, Jerome Weeks, Justin Farce, Sean Bauman, Tyler Zane Peace, William Stull, and my mom. We couldn't do this without you. Thank you so much.
Yep. Thank you.
Man, I love that Prius.
Travis? You're going to make me start talking about Tracy again. Travis? How was your week in UniVersus?
My week in UniVersus was pretty good. I went to LWG and played Slinka to a 3-0 finish. Got first. It was pretty cool. I built Skullman under Death using Botan support, which is also very cool. It's a very neat deck. He gets to see so many cards, and just making my opponent randomly discard a card is very good.
Yep. Sometimes it loses you game 2 when you had to make the clutch comeback.
Yup.
Michael, how about you, man?
My week has been fine. I felt kind of lazy this week, not gonna lie. Because I made
lazy in a good way or lazy in a bad way?
Mid range, mid range lazy.
It's okay to take a break.
I don't know. Like I just haven't done much like real testing. Like I still need to mess with my Eternal deck. I'm about to change some ratios or mess with Donovan, and then I made this really sweet deck for the tournament.
Yeah.
Shoutouts. You'll see it soon.
The Hidden Heroes tournament out on Patreon starting on September 1st. We have a match and profile every day for a week leading up to whoever wins that upcoming on Saturday. Yep. Saturday is the end of the tournament.
Yeah, it's been a little lazy, but I think it's been a good week. I think I could use my time a little more efficiently, though.
Yeah. I feel like I'm just constantly running out of time when it comes to stuff.
I also feel like that, and I'm not even you.
Yeah.
I'm like, how does this man, he's got like 20 balls in his hand, he's juggling them all? I don't know how he does it. It's
certainly difficult, and I always feel like I'm like picking one up off the ground to try and keep juggling it again. It's tough. But with your love and support, I love to do it. So my week's been fine. I've been playing Jeddah. I've been editing a piss ton. I've been editing so much fucking stuff.
Yeah.
And it's fun, and I'm getting better, and it's just like you okay?
I don't know.
Big bruise?
Yeah.
Big bruise.
All right.
Feels bad, man.
But yeah, UniVersus has been fun. I've just been playing Jeddah. Been having fun smacking
Grinding
nerds.
it.
Yeah, just hitting the grind.
He finally recorded his matches after I told him to multiple times.
Hey, I just had to find a slot to put it in. I had to figure out like a way to do it.
Yep.
Sit down and randomly record a match was not going to work for me because sit down and random just doesn't happen in my life right now.
Yeah, that's why I always tell you to, piece of paper. It's your best friend.
Yep.
Boom. Look at that. Boom. Look at that. Look at that sweet piece of paper.
Look at his best friend. It's very paper.
So, full disclosure. We lost the first half of the podcast. It's about an hour since we started recording. And we had 2 topics that I don't think were that great. But in the second half of the show, I came up with 2 way better topics that I was going to use for next week. But we're not going to.
Yep.
So what I want to do is I want to talk about how do you get better at the fundamentals of UniVersus? Michael, how do you get better at the fundamentals, my guy? What are the fundamentals, first and foremost?
Well, that's what I was about to ask. What are the fundamentals?
Ooh. Travis, you wanna hit him the softball? Give him the pitch.
So I think the fundamentals of this game are building, attacking, and blocking.
Ooh.
So
Okay.
I think the best players in our game can do all three very efficiently, and I think the even better than the best players really focus on blocking
Okay.
as their main mechanic. Like being able to block or just even deal with your opponent's attacks
Reading my mind.
is
Getting to the third topic already.
is one of the best ways that you can efficiently learn and get better at this game. Just learning how to deal with things while playing the game.
Okay. If I were to say fundamentals, I think fundamentals are. Tyler almost fell out of his chair. Fundamentals are understanding difficulty curves and making correct lines based on that. Understanding ratios of control checks and getting a feel for what's inside of your deck, even if that means crunching numbers and doing some card counting.
Mm-hmm.
And then optimization of what is the hand that I've been given, how do I play it? So, like, I think those are the fundamentals of the game because, like, playing a card and resolving its effects is not hard, but picking the lines is the hard part.
Yeah.
And making that become your fundamentals is what's important. When do I? So I'll use like the best card in the game as an example, right? And this best card asterisk is all opinionated. If you want to hear my real opinions on the best cards, go to look at the TAM's top fives. Shameless plug. Coffee Samba. When do I draw? When do I stun? When do I even play it? Is it my first attack? Is it my last attack? Is it a mid attack? Am I trying to bait out something? Am I trying to? I think this is actually more fundamental than, hey, that's a 2, and this is a 2 +1. I'll check a 5. I blocked. I think that's way more because, like, I can teach my niece how to count to 5 with 2 + 2 + 1, right? And she's
5
or 6. I don't know. She's 5 for sure. Tyler, cut this out. I don't want my sister to see. I don't know how old my niece is.
God.
I think it's equally as creepy that I guessed her age.
It would make sense that I can teach my niece how to count to 5 and she'd be 5.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
that's what I thought.
So, like, I feel like decision making is just way better fundamentally than, like, what's my correct line of play is way more important fundamentally than what's 2 + 2 + 1.
Well, decision making goes into blocking too, because
you
you have to think of, oh, if I take this line and my opponent does X, does it kill me?
Sure.
If I block this attack and my opponent plays this specific card, does it kill me? Do I play around that? Is it worth it? What's the risk? What's the reward? You always have to think about it.
What do you think, buddy? Now that we've answered this question maybe a little too thoroughly.
Okay. So back to the question that was asked of me. I think the answer is play some more, then play some more games, and then be able to take constructive criticism, whether it be like deck building or like having a buddy like help you through the motions of like what he thought your turn should be, and then like the two of you discussing. I think a lot of it just comes down to like the best way to learn the fundamentals and the best way to learn anything is to just do it, right?
Dang.
Just Nike it.
Here is the fourth plug of the reboot of this. If you don't have a playgroup near you and you want to have a camaraderie of people, TCGU actually has a Discord of its own. If you got it on Patreon, you sub at just the $1 level, you have access to the Patreon, and all hours of the night, every single person named Travis would love to answer every question that you have about this card game.
Because I always do.
He always does.
Yep.
I think Travis and Tyler are like the two people that answer the most, not including the student body that is all there to help you. So if you are feeling lost playgroup wise, it's $1 a month.
There's always
$1
someone
a
active.
month.
Always.
Catch me between 7 and 4. That's my best time during weekdays.
Yep.
Yeah. I think so. Here's my issue, and the reason I bring this up. You ready? So I think what we did this past weekend was really good for our fundamentals. I think it was super, super good for our fundamentals of playing UniVersus, of us slamming a bunch of different decks together and seeing different lines.
Yep.
It does us, at some point, it does us no good to just play the same decks over and over and over and over and over again,
Yeah.
which is why when I'm writing my Roads to Omaha PTC, let's hope, I'm writing down who I'm fighting, what my win-loss ratio is, and I don't actually want to fight too much of the same deck. Like, the only deck that I want to keep fighting more and more is Goro, because I need to know what hands can randomly deal with missile launcher every turn and what hands can't.
Mm-hmm.
But you slamming the same deck over and over and over again against the same partner over and over and over again is going to put you into bad habits as opposed to developing good overall fundamentals.
Yeah.
You'd never played a deck like Ermac before, right?
Right.
And that just, you were like, oh, because of what's in my deck, I get to make all these different decisions.
Yeah.
You are correct.
I know.
But
Yeah.
if I'm honest,
Please be honest.
I don't think I gained anything from the Ermac.
Really?
Really.
I don't think you might have gained anything consciously, but maybe you gained something subconsciously. Is all I'm saying, right? Maybe so, like, how often do you think about tying your shoes? Never. But if you once you get like really good at the game, you can take and hone your decision making skills inside of the game, playing a bunch of different options. Because when I draw, there's only X amount of hands that I can draw with my Jetta deck. There's only X amount of hands that you can draw with your Donovan deck, because there's only X amount of cards in the deck.
Right.
And when we grind against each other over and over and over and over and over again, your hands are going to start to look suspiciously similar as my hands, because we found the optimal play.
Yeah.
Sometimes we get random hands, and that's when the game's actually really interesting and fun at that point. When you take and you venture out into, hey, I'm going to make this deck under a totally different symbol.
Yeah.
I'm going to make this, my Jetta deck is, I'm going to make Jetta under Chaos.
That actually seems pretty cool.
It doesn't it?
Yeah.
And what are the lines that I get to make? How does my fundamental game change? I can tell you there is 100% more Ancestral Quiver in that deck.
Yeah.
I can tell you that you will not be denied momentum in that deck.
Yeah.
There is also 100% more face of a monster in that deck.
100%. Yeah. I hope I have a low block. Detta Delamento. All right.
Make it a low.
Make it a low.
Oh God, that's cancer.
Pay
Don't
2
please,
for -2
please no.
speed.
please no chaos, no chaos,
Right.
Jetta.
And
Please
so, like,
no.
your lines completely change. The tempo of that deck completely changes based on how you make it.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you do to increase to better your fundamentals? Playing games is the best one. It is.
Yeah.
Truly.
For sure. Playing against the right person.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Having a good sparring partner?
Yeah. Like whether they have like a wide variety of decks, or like I was saying earlier, like with the constructive criticism, or just playing against someone that knows the game a little bit better than you, and they like challenge you like over and over and over and over again. Like me and James were actually talking about this yesterday. It was, a little while back if you're watching this on YouTube. But we were playing basketball, and we were talking about Super Smash Bros. And I was telling him how whenever I play Super Smash Bros. Against you guys, it feels like work. And then sometimes, when I'm playing Smash against you guys, it feels like work for me, because like I'm not enjoying it as much. But like that's why I like playing Smash Ultimate with you guys, because like I can actually enjoy it.
It's a party game.
Yeah. And then he was on the opposite side of, I love playing against you in Smash so much because you challenge me over and over and over and over again, and I'll get my butt beat 4-stocked like 10 games in a row, and I'll come just right back at you again.
Can I say something, and I hope it does not come off as an insult? I have not felt truly challenged in UFS in a very long time playing at this house. I just have not. Hey, Tyler, how about you fucking play a game with me, and maybe that'll change, huh? But, like, I have not felt truly challenged until we get into those really weird instances where I'm like, inside this game, I've accidentally painted myself into a corner. How do I get out of it?
Yep.
Or, oh, no, you've painted me into a corner. Where's my line? How do I get out of it? But, like, the standard fundamentals that I'm playing is just, I don't know if it's just the card text and I'm playing it superbly or whatnot, but I felt this way with Scorpion, and I feel this way with Jetta, of like, I am not feeling like I'm at a negative win rate versus anybody in the house, because I'm not.
I was so close.
You were
Scorpion. I was so close.
You were. But like, what happens when I find a deck that somebody makes that 40-60 deck. Man, I'm excited. I'm so excited because I want somebody to grind me out. Like, I want that.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why, like, we'll just jump into the second topic because, like, it counts to you. Does having a rival make you better? And you say yes.
Yeah.
Do you think so?
I agree. I think having someone that you look upon as not an enemy, but someone that you want to surpass. Like someone you look at them and you say, I want to be as good or better than this person. I have had very many rivals, mentors, whatever you want to call it, throughout my years playing any card game that I play. UFS specifically, it shifts quite a bit. Because in the very, very beginning, it was Jake, the Big Johnson, shoutouts. Then, after a while, it was actually you, Tam. And now, it's actually Mark Tyner, shoutouts. They're just people that I want to be as good or better than at this game. Which, like, to kind of praise Mark here a little, he grew so much.
How dare you praise another player? Just kidding.
He grew so much as a player, going from playing this Spike Turbo deck with 20 extra cards in it to, man, I'm actually performing at these events. I'm doing well. Which, like, I definitely equate some of that to Jake because they are very good friends. And I know playing against Jake as many times as I did, that made me the player I am today. Not only just him, but against you guys. It made me a better deck builder because there were definitely various times where the only person I'm afraid of in this room and don't want to lose against is Jake. So I'm going to put a bunch of counters in my deck, and I know what he's playing. I'm going to put a bunch of counters in my deck that counter him, but also people in the field. So like I'll put cards that are good against not only him, but other decks. But, like, more specifically what he's playing.
That's some fucking backpedaling if I've ever heard it.
Shame.
No, I think if there is only one player that you want to beat.
But I don't want to get
Beating
into the
them?
minutia of if you mainboard a bunch of outs to their whole gimmick. Wink. If you mainboard a bunch of outs to their gimmick, then are you really beating them or did you beat their deck?
And then also, beating them, that doesn't mean you surpass them. It just means you beat them that one time.
Yeah, I agree. But I think that doing it the way I didn't make it any slower. It definitely sped up the process a bit because I realized that, hey, if I put these counters in my deck and I build the counter a deck, then it makes it easier on me to learn and grow because I don't have to always worry. It's like this shadow. Like, I'm standing in this person's shadow. I want to step out of it. And if I do it this way, I can step out of it temporarily, even if I end up going back into it at the end of the day.
Okay.
So, like, and even though I say I played a bunch of counters to his deck, it was more like we joked about it that way. So, like, I'd play this, like, 100-card spike deck, and it would have, like, 10 main board answers to everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I just happened to see the pieces that were good against him in our matches.
Yeah. Or, like, he's playing a punch GD deck, and you're like, oh, well, I'm mainboarding White House. That's convenient for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. Oh, okay. I get
Yeah.
that.
So, like,
The way that you worded it, it was like
it was
some snidely whiplash, twirl my mustache.
Yeah, it was.
Half my deck is a counter.
I wasn't trying to be the evil villain from host stroking my cat $1 million. Yeah, no. But I definitely think that doing it the way that I did, it accelerated me a little bit. Playing against those guys as many times as I did, ramming my head into a wall over and over again until I finally figured out the way to do things.
Yeah.
It, like...
Really?
Yeah. Sometimes you, like, it may be the most contradictory statement ever, but sometimes you have to lose to win. Like, sometimes you have to lose to get better.
They're all stepping stones.
Yep. You have to take these stairs, and these stairs are going to take you to a place, and then eventually you're going to reach the top of the stairs.
That was sweet.
Yeah.
That was
For the
cool.
folks at home that didn't see, right? You're taking the stairs, right? And you're taking the L's, and then when you reach the top of the stairs, you get the W.
West side. Oh, it's like for win, not.
Yeah. What? Where?
Yes, it was for a win. Doesn't know I'm a gangster.
They call me the OG Mecha Ninja.
OG Mecha Ninja.
Get out of here.
Yeah, I think rivals are like super important. I think rivals and like friendly play groups are like very important in order to get you over that hill, whether it be somebody that you're related to, somebody that you live with, somebody that you go and just play games. Even if it's like some kitchen table stuff, like you go to the library and just play cards. You go to the local game shop every day or every weekday, every specific Tuesday, right?
Yeah.
Let's go grind out some games.
Yeah.
What have I brought? What have you brought? How are you making yourself better? And then I think like the biggest thing to do when it comes to like rivals is see what they're doing right and see what they're doing wrong.
Yeah.
And do what they're doing right and don't do what they're doing wrong and let them know.
Yep.
So like rising tides. If you increase the watermark, then all the boats rise.
Yep.
That's just how it works. And so if I can make you better at the card game, then you're gonna push and challenge me. And if you push and challenge me, then that means I'm gonna push and challenge you.
It's an infinite cycle.
Infinite shouldn't be in this game. But yeah,
Agreed.
I think if you want to get really good really fast, find somebody who is a half step or one step above you.
Yeah.
And just grind it. And then find content like this and grind it. And go jump into Discords and grind it.
Yep.
One of the best so this is before my time, one of the best play groups that there was a group that they called themselves UFS House. And they went through and they lived together and they would just grind games all the time. And they would just go and sweep tournaments, and they would clean house from all these majors and get all this cardboard because they were so consistent in playing the game that.
Yeah, that was like what Garrett Brett, Matt Coles.
I have no idea, actually. I do not know the names of these players.
Well, I only know them. Well, I know Garrett Brett obviously, but I only know them because of the champ card,
Right.
UFS House,
Yeah.
and it's got all three of their names on it. Because that's the card that you were talking about a while back, where if you are XX or X character, you get to add the top card of your deck to your momentum instead of drawing a card when it adds to your staging area.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anything else you guys want to add? We can jump back to fundamentals a little bit if we feel like we didn't. I feel like that was just a really good segue point to talk about rivals.
I think we did both of the topics justice, to be honest.
Okay.
I don't
Find somebody that drives you,
Yeah.
and will give you criticism.
because like having a rival kind of ties into the fundamentals. Because like if you have a rival, you're going to improve each other's fundamentals, like you said.
Totally.
And you're going to bounce ideas off of each other, and you're going to make this idea better as it goes. So like it's not only just for the game itself, but it's also for like deck building. Like, oh man, I have this deck idea, it's not working so well right now, but if we bounce ideas off each other 50 times, then this deck will get to its final state and become a butterfly. It went from a caterpillar to a butterfly.
I
Went
dig
from a slug monster to the ultimate being.
True.
His name is Gil.
His name's Cell. What are you talking
Yeah.
about?
You're right.
C-E-double-L.
With that, we're going to take a small break from words from our sponsors.
Stay tuned.
For more.
I just want to remind you guys that this episode is brought to you by Cards Custom Build. If you like nerdy costumes or props or other nerd memorabilia, go out to Cards Custom Build out on Facebook. You can also find them on Etsy. And I've got a deal for you guys. If you mention the fact that you saw me on the podcast, this is actually my dad. And he said that he'd give any UFS crew, any UFS watchers $5 off of their order if you come and say that you supported the show. So any of the cool costumes that you've seen, like you see up on screen right now of me as Scorpion or me as Dr. Wily, that was all made as Card's custom build. Plus, here's some of his other stuff that he's done. He's an incredible builder, and he takes requests. So the next major, maybe somebody wants to come dress up as a My Hero character. Reach out to Card's custom builds out on Facebook or Etsy, and he'd love to get back to you. So with that, back to the show.
Yeah.
All right, everybody, we are back. Thank you very much, Card's custom build.
Yep.
I want to talk about the. You wanted to bring up something about gimmicks.
Mm-hmm. I wanted to talk about the hierarchy of gimmicks within deck building.
I want you to take and limit this because the two examples that you gave me were unblockable and discard.
So like hand hack, like I'm playing a hand hack deck. I'm playing like Spell Circle, like Reptile or something.
Mm-hmm.
Versus like, let's say you were playing this Hiei deck once he comes out with 16 instant slashes, and you just want to loop unblockable with the Mitsurugi action. Like that would be the best example of an unblockable deck.
I don't know. That Drill Man was pretty unblockable, huh? Hey, you better not block this Dragon Flayer on turn 2. Oh, you didn't? Oh, man.
Well, I guess you're not blocking the next one
Yeah,
either.
huh?
Shadow Sword Tournament Saga, where
Yeah.
Drill Man takes on J. Tolbane.
J. Talbane.
Yeah.
Wonder who wins.
I know.
Vote now. Call in. Numbers at the bottom of the screen.
But yeah, I think that like
So what are the gimmicks? I'll run them down for you. What are the gimmicks?
So we have, like I said, discard, unblockable, keywords dot deck. So like Jet,
Check hacking.
check hacking, yeah,
Heidi.
Exodia,
Oh, yeah, just a different piece of paper, huh?
Yeah.
I'm good.
Mill,
Yeah, Milgoro or Aswell. Sorry, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Jeddah.
yeah, I think Jeddah. What
Just
Jeddah?
debilling your opponent in general.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Foundation destruction.
It wasn't meant
There you
just
go.
for you.
That's the word I wanted. I
I
wanted
said it.
debuild. I didn't want Jeddah. You son of a bitch. I'll jump across this table and strangle you. I can't make Everybody Hates Jeddah as the second thumbnail for a second time in a row.
It's all right.
So,
I haven't been salty the last 2 times we played, so
Good.
it's just how the game goes sometimes.
momentum stacking. So like Firefly Gunner, Bug Zapper decks.
Punch and Judy.
Yeah, P&J is definitely a gimmick, I would say, at this point. Character stacking is another gimmick.
Interesting. There's a lot more gimmicks than I thought there would be.
There is quite a few. Is there anything else I can think of?
Can you before I contribute any of these, right? Can you define what the word gimmick is for all the good kids and me at home?
So
This is my house.
So a gimmick, basically, when you're building your deck, you build your deck generally around one central thing that your deck is trying to do every single time. So if you look at like Reptile, for example, he's one of the more blatant examples. He says that you get a discard, make your opponent discard on all of your attacks.
Reveal 2 cards, make them discard.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
I was like, imagination.
Reading Rainbow.
Okay.
So, like, I
Can't-
agree with that definition. I think Heidi is a way better example,
Oh yeah,
though.
yeah. I think she is a little less blatant because, well, like people do normally build her like Exodia, she can still play like a normal character.
My follow-up question to what is a gimmick is now, what is the difference between a gimmick and a theme? Because when I think of the word gimmick, I think inherently, and this is just a bad word choice, I think of degenerate, I think of lackluster, I think of a negative connotation when I think of the word gimmick. But when I think of
agree.
theme, I think of this is the what my deck is attempting to do. This is the strategy that I'm using.
Yeah.
My gimmick in Reptile is not to discard a bunch of cards. Or sorry, my gimmick is not to discard a card. That's my theme. That's the theme of my deck. I'm running a bunch of attacks in order so that my strategy can work. I think unblockable is a gimmick.
Yeah, that would make sense.
I think that check hack is not a gimmick. It is a strategy that I use depending on what my character is. There is not a character in the game right now that says this attack gains the words unblockable unless you want to count Spike. But then, in that same course, talking about Spike and unblockable, I would just chalk that up to burn.
Yep.
Unblockable damage is just burn damage. That's all it is.
Yep.
Damage that you're not allowed to interact with because that's not an interaction in the game.
Yeah.
But I don't think these are gimmicks per se because I think of the negative connotation. Do you agree with that at all?
I don't know. I see them as the same word, to be honest. Like, when I think of a gimmick versus a theme, I'm just like, some people see gimmick as like a negative thing. I don't necessarily think that's the case. I think that comparing gimmick to a theme is like, I don't know, comparing apples to apples. Like, they're in the same branch of things, but...
Well, now I'm on board. I wasn't on board until you made the tree pun.
I love puns.
They're in
I
the
wasn't
same.
even trying to.
We got to get to the root of the issue. Am I right? One more of those, and I'm gonna leave.
So like
autumn.
So yeah, I think that they aren't so different that we should think of them as completely different things.
Gimmick, a trick or device intended to attract attention, publicity, or business. So your gimmick would be a trick that you do.
Yeah.
So something that you're doing in order to not play the game correctly. I totally believe that Heidi is a gimmick deck. I'm sitting down and tricking my opponent into playing a game of UFS with them.
Yeah.
When I'm secretly playing with myself.
Right, correct. Or I am sitting down and I'm playing the gimmick of my Aaron Black deck is that I play Moonset.
Oh.
Yeah, the throw off.
The off zone of the Guilt Seeker, multiple. Stuff these cards. Oh, one in hand. I bet that's not a high block.
I'd be willing to bet.
That's my gimmick. Or hey, I main board in my Aaron Black deck 4 Face of a Monster because I'm gonna turn this bitch high. That's a gimmick to me. That is something that is, you could say, suboptimal to the game plan in order to make it work.
Yeah.
I don't think a gimmick has to be suboptimal. Because I still strongly agree that Reptile is a gimmick because he's tricking you to play defense.
Yeah.
By discarding your entire hand.
Yeah.
So you actually just don't get to play.
Yep.
And I think that's almost the same as Heidi. Because he like gives you a taste. Sure, you can play on your turn. Just on your turn, though. Right, just like Lord Raptor.
Yeah.
How Flash, I would give Flash. If Lord Raptor didn't exist, Flash would totally be just a gimmick. But because Lord Raptor exists, I could define it as a theme. But I think of it more as like a Venn diagram. So you have like gimmick and theme, and then you have all these decks in the middle
that
And so,
overlap.
like, I think
it. I choked on the word strategy. I think that middle Venn diagram is the word strategy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not disagreeing by any means. All of these, they're solid strategies, right? Like whether you're blowing up all of your opponent's foundations, or you're discarding your opponent's hand, or you're making them to where they can't play that attack again, like Quantri's Fortress, stuff like that. Like I just think themes and gimmicks are so close to each other that they do fall into a Venn diagram, and I think certain decks fall into both. So like I think Lord Raptor is a gimmick and a theme, right? Because he's all mids, so like your opponent's gonna keep all their mid blocks.
Do you mean Reptile and not Lord Raptor?
No, I was talking about Reptile.
You said Lord Raptor.
Yeah.
Oh,
Please continue.
my bad. Sorry, folks.
Clarifying for me, because I was like, what? I don't ever keep mids versus... He doesn't throw any of those.
Yeah. But I don't... Like, I see certain decks as, like, both. And I definitely think that Reptile falls under that category because he tricks you into a false sense of, I can play defense.
Yep.
And, like... Because, like, even us playing, like, as Donovan right now, right? I can play defense with one card, but he just says I can't.
Mm-hmm.
And like I can keep 3 or 4 cards in my hand, and I'm still gonna end up losing all those cards.
So my thing about your Donovan deck is I do see it as, if under this definition, is it's a gimmick deck because it is a hella damage throw deck. A damned if you do, damned if you don't. You're not playing real UniVersus. You're playing
I'm
something
walling
else.
up.
Right. And then
I'm gonna send one man out, and he's gonna defeat the entire army. And that's how it goes.
The main character of the story.
shout outs to the homie. Minion grab.
Yeah,
Big shout outs.
See? Yeah. Like that's my deck. I play defense until I send a 26 damage minion grab at you, or I trick you with a gimmick of playing nothing but defense into building it to deadlock, to where I go Demon Realm, Demon Realm, Demon Realm, Demon Realm. Oh, all of a sudden my deck has 26 damage.
Whoops.
Oh, and you'll burn 4 if you block it, so you'll take like 17.
Yeah.
That's hot.
Yeah.
Literally, because you're on fire.
Ouch, 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 ouch. Does this definition of gimmick theme strategy, does this play into your apples to apples comparison?
Yeah.
'Cause I feel like it does wonderfully.
Yeah, I think the Venn diagram thing explains it perfectly. Like, you have the gimmicks, you have the themes, and then they kind of meet in the middle to form a strategy at times, which there are a lot of decks that do.
What's the biggest gimmick about the standard deck you're playing right now is the one that you're going to play is Yoshimitsu, right?
Correct.
So what's your gimmick in Yoshimitsu?
Probably just trying to blow up their entire staging area. I just don't want them to play the game.
But that's not a gimmick, though. That's the strategy.
Sure. So I guess the gimmick would be killing them with a Lily Tusengrass for their entire life total.
Sure.
With, like, ridding the world of outsiders.
Dragon Flare is my gimmick.
But see, so with the Yoshimitsu like thing, you're tricking them into sitting down and playing a game with you, because they don't get to play because they're busy trying to just build a little wall.
Well, that's the death symbol, right? That's the character. But that's like what the death symbol wants to do. The death symbol currently in the game is I'm going to destroy foundations to gain effects, whether it be I'm destroying mine or destroying yours.
Whoa.
Like that's the way that it wants to play. That is an aspect of that symbol, right?
All right.
So the way that
just didn't want you to lump Donovan into you two
So-
degenerates.
so not to talk about this indefinitely, because I definitely could, because I think this is the most interesting, fun part of UFS. Is there's a symbol, right? You've got your skull. You see my 6 skull?
Yeah.
Sick.
This thing should have 3 traits that it does, and these
Okay.
traits are allowed to overlap
Sure.
with other traits.
Mm-hmm.
So Death's main thing in TAM UFS is going to be it drains vitality.
Sure.
But at the same time, fire should also drain vitality, just not as well as death.
I agree.
Just because your character has the death symbol on it doesn't mean that it demands to use its foundation. Right? You could say that the death part of your character of Donovan is you have to commit one. You're using a resource in order to do this thing.
And I'm like sapping the life out of their attack.
Yeah.
Sure.
But that's me personally. I'd make death and life totally opposite. I digress. We're not getting into this topic again.
Okay.
I get too passionate.
I get too bad.
But I don't think Punch and Judy is a gimmick.
I think it is totally a gimmick. You're relying on making so many checks that you hope to see all your Punch and Judies.
I think if your deck can't win without it, then you don't deserve to have it.
All right. I don't think Kung Jin is playable.
Really?
I think he's unplayable. I want to see a Kung Jin player without Punch and Judy top something.
But like, why would I not play Punch and Judy?
Oh, right. That's what I'm saying, right? Your deck's a gimmick.
But the deck's not a gimmick.
The cards that you're playing in the deck make it a gimmick.
But my
Right.
character says mill 2 on every attack, mine and yours.
Right.
And so that is part of my strategy, is to
So-
use the fire symbol
right.
to fill up my discard pile.
So you said strategy,
Mhm.
and that's where theme and gimmick meet in the middle.
Okay.
Right.
You got me. You fucking crushed me.
Right.
You fucking
But so
you
you're
twisted my words around, you
so
spider.
you're using your theme
Yes.
of milling yourself
Uh-huh.
to do a degenerate trick your opponent into playing combo.
Okay.
Right. Strategy, which is, like I said, both parts of the Venn diagram. I think Punch and Judy is totally a gimmick because, like I said, you're relying on seeing 7 copies of them in your discard pile and then having one in hand, just to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. With that definition, I would now agree with you. I
Awesome.
love it.
Because that is how I felt when I was playing Ermac. Shoutouts to the tournament.
Shout out to Daring. Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm down. I'm down for that definition.
Now, I might be a little biased. But
It is okay to have
I think
opinions.
it fits the definition.
When you are making a deck, do you prepare more for themes or gimmicks? Personally. And then what should you do?
I think you prepare for themes and then you side for gimmicks.
Interesting.
Because I would like to think that no offense to anybody out there, a professional player or someone who is more interested in, like, I'm trying to do this for a living, or I'm trying to top a lot of tournaments to get player of the year, or I'm trying to win cardboard, they're going to stick more to themes and then splash in a gimmick for their deck. And then as to where a more casual player that, like, they don't really care, they'll just play an entire gimmick deck.
Yeah.
And so I think that you need to prepare for what each deck is truly trying to do, and then also be ready for the silly stuff that they can do to steal games from you.
Yeah.
And that's what I think a gimmick is intended to do, is to steal a game.
Trick. The word trick is there.
Yep. So I think you should prepare your deck for a real game and then side into things that prevent a game from being stolen from you.
To be honest, now that I think about it, I actually think that the way Salinka plays, at least under fire, she's very gimmicky.
Yeah.
She
Sorry, that was woo.
That was quick.
There was a lot of hate in that. Shout outs to Mark Tyner.
So, like, she
Alright.
does this thing, and she does it very well, where she says, these big, scary gauge attacks, if you don't block them, I'm going to get more characters, but if you do block them, this cat might kill you. So, like, she's very gimmicky in that way, where she's like, I have my entire attack lineup is filled with threats. If you block this, you might die to this. If you don't block this, you might die to it. And she just does that until she eventually kills you, where you run out of things to deal with her threats, whether it be like Moondance with her having 5 characters and she's just picking up Moondances over and over again until she finally kills you.
I might be wrong. I think Salinka is the perfect character.
Oh,
I think it embodies the entire game, like, into one.
Really?
With, like, the 3 symbols that she has of fire, death, and good. Like, she does everything.
Yeah.
She has it all.
She is the perfect flavor for those symbols, to be fair. She not only messes with speed and damage under good, she removes attacks under fire, and she blows up foundations under death. So she has 3 of arguably those symbols' main gimmicks at this current moment in time. And that's what she does on her character. And she does it perfectly.
She does it damn well.
Yep.
Interesting.
I think Moondance is a little insane. But I do think that she has it all.
I think she's easily the best character in that set. Hands down.
Interesting.
I mean, I disagree, but I'm biased, so
Yep.
it's fine. I can't talk on that.
You guys want to hit one more topic? You're going to be done for the night.
I'm good. Let's do it.
This is the most important topic of the night.
Yeah.
Of course we have to do it.
Yeah, it's fine.
What is it?
Why should you play UniVersus?
Hmm.
Why play this game? We've got a flood of new people coming to our channel. We've got a flood of new people coming to the game. Thank you guys for sticking around to the end of the podcast for this super important topic. I wanted to have our creativity juices flowing. Why should you play this game? Tell me every reason. What's every aspect?
Do you like card games? Do you like just games in general? Do you like meeting new, nice, and fun people? Do you like traveling? Do you like anime again? Right? Do you like fighting games? Do you like to be competitive? All right. I think UniVersus is the game for you. We'll see you soon.
Have a good night. No. Why should you play the game, Travis?
Oh, I was being serious.
But that's it?
Well, I mean, I can add some more, but
Yeah. I think expanding upon those thoughts. So the thought is, you ready? Somebody should be able to clip this out and send it to their friend who's on the fence.
Okay.
Like why should I play? This is why I should play. Because we have the best community in the game.
Yeah.
That's like my main
agree.
reason.
Yeah.
Our community is so stellar.
Yeah.
Nobody's trying to hyper price gouge each other. And
Yu-Gi-Oh.
the people that are doing that are super new to the game and are learning not to do that, right?
Yeah.
We saw the Bakugo Midoriya decks up online
Yeah.
for like $40 each.
Yeah.
And then it was promptly taken down.
Yep.
We don't do that.
Yep.
And in any other card game, it'd be like, I mean, if somebody wants to be dumb enough to buy, but there's so much information from casual players, right? So from, and I mean this as no disrespect to anybody. I'm not calling anybody out, but like every single person, whether it is Ashley Fullerton who went and won Worlds, will give the exact same advice that whoever got last place at Worlds will give. Hey, be a nice person. Hey, let me show you how to make a deck. Hey, like everybody's unbelievably friendly, as opposed to, no, stay over there. I gotta win.
Yeah. There's like, I feel like there's no like walls in this community.
Such camaraderie.
And it's like 20 villages.
Yeah.
They're just
Yeah.
all like neighboring,
People-
and they'll just walk in and be like, hey, can I get some of those berries?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. You want to take a couple salmon with it? I would love some. I was gonna go over to the north side for some salmon, but I can just get it here.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your
Yeah.
hospitality.
I think people don't really keep you at like arm's reach in this community like they do in other card games. Like I definitely feel a lot more friendly with people in this card game than I have with like communities of other card games.
especially not to like a malicious tent, right?
Yeah.
Like there is plenty of hidden tech inside the game, right?
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
plenty of people who are, hey, I actually don't want my deck list leaked.
Yeah.
And that's totally fine. That's a valid strategy when it comes to major events. We are playing for cash, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But nobody's like, I don't want to talk to you because you're the enemy.
Yeah. Yeah.
It just doesn't happen.
To
I'm from New York. You're from California. Yo, dude, we're coast
Coast
nemesis.
Ghost Nemesis. To reference Atlanta a little bit, our community is the type of people where, if you're legal, of course, you could sit down and have a beer with them.
If you're legal,
If you're legal.
which 2/3 of us
Yeah.
hella legal.
Yep. Yep. And even if not, sit down and have a soda with them.
one of them good old fashioned sody pops.
Yep. They'll give you a fun time, and they'll make sure that you're laughing almost the entire time. And if you're not laughing, you're discussing something seriously with them, and they're giving you realistic feedback.
I'll take a Corona. I'll take a Budweiser. I'll have one water spritzer, please.
Do you have 1 or 2% milk? We love it, Travis.
Thank you.
I think another part of this game is that it is truly a skill-based game, and that is one of the most, personally, that's one of the most interesting parts of this game is I lost because I fucked up 90% of the time.
Yeah.
I have a blemish on my record because I fucked up.
Yeah.
My deck checked, I think, 3 or 4 twos in that game one, and if I would have just made the decision to let the attack go as opposed to he won't kill me.
Yep.
I fucked up. I lost.
Wow, you checked 3 twos against me and you still beat me.
That's because I didn't fuck up.
That is.
We were also both in deadlock. So.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's true.
Yep.
But like it is such a skill-based game. Sometimes you can accidentally win. There is that 10% of the card game that you are just like, oh, I mean, if I make this if I play this last attack, maybe I'll check the 6 and I'll beat you.
Yep.
Or it's like, I'll play this and don't check orange and I win.
Hey.
Yep.
I did it.
Like, but then
Skill
there's that
game.
other 90% where it's like, if you make a critical error and your opponent can capitalize on it,
You just lose.
you lose.
Yep.
And it's
I
your
felt
fault.
That. I felt that super hard at Rockford.
100%. And you become not just better at card games, but better at life because of it, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, as crazy as
You're
that
better
is,
at critical thinking.
Yep.
100%.
Yeah.
It is just like a fighting game.
You.
And that's part of the reason I like this community so much is it's very much like a fighting game. Because, like, when you go to a fighting game tournament, like, they might let you take a round. They're going to get that W.
Yeah.
they're gonna get the W. Even in friendlies,
Yeah.
they're probably gonna get the W.
Yeah.
You gotta learn.
Yeah.
You gotta take your licks.
You just have to like learn and grow. Learn from your peers. Learn from your friends, per se.
Per se.
Just learn from everything. Honestly, if you make a mistake, don't ask yourself why over and over again until you finally figure out the answer. You need to look back and retrace everything up until that instead of focusing purely on that one mistake.
And here's like to bring it back to why you should play UniVersus, right? You can ask somebody else.
Yeah.
And they'll give you an answer.
Yeah.
That and the card game's really fucking fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You feel like you're actually playing a game. There are plenty of games, even like other card games or board games or whatever, that I feel like I just didn't do anything, and I just I won because I drew these cards, or I lost because I drew these cards, and that's not playing a game.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Just going through the motions.
that's comparing 5 cards and saying, "Oh, I won."
Yep.
Like it's so funny how many times back when I was playing Yu-Gi-Oh, or back when I was playing Dragon Ball, or back when I was playing X card game, where there were so many cards in the game that had Exodia's card text. If this card's in my opponent's hand, they win the game. And that doesn't happen in our card game. Like, you ready? Here's the reason you play UniVersus over Magic. They just banned a card that said that.
Yeah.
They just banned a card that on turn 1 you drop it and kill all your opponent's their graveyard effects.
Yeah.
Oh, I opened Exodia. You can't play the game.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Yep.
You lose.
Yep. Yeah. They definitely made a mistake on that one.
And
yeah.
UniVersus doesn't, and when they do, they fix it immediately.
Yeah.
Not after 6 cards that are possible out of the top 16 or whatever were playing it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
They fix it. They have no problem doing emergency bans and whatever.
Yep.
And then they reprint those cards into a correct power level.
Yep.
This game's amazing. You should play it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To be honest, my main reason for you to play this game is the glory that you get if you work so hard and you get so far and you win at a major event.
Yeah.
Like the satisfaction that you get not only knowing that you won, but that you're going to be immortalized in this paper form, in this card game for people to collect you. It's fantastic.
It is a beautiful feeling. It's a really good carrot to race towards.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, with that, thank you very much for watching this episode of Study Hall here on TCG University for the UniVersus card game. If you like the content, please go to patreon.com/TCGU and subscribe at any of the levels. Get all the content early.
Yep.
From all of us here at TCGU, stay learned.
Get learned.
Ben learned.
We will see you later.
Have a great day.
Have a nice one.